Hiya, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to cover something that is so shit that it's actually brilliant. And we're in the BMW at the moment. Doesn't really matter what car. This is generic to pretty much all cars that have an Obdi 2 port. So what I'm going to try and do is, there's an app on. Now unfortunately I can only get it to work on Android, so I've got to try and use this without getting Samsung on my hands. Yeah. Suss that out in a minute. But what the app does is it reads the RPM, and then there's loads of videos on this already on YouTube, but none of them really touch on something which is quite interesting about how this works. The pros and cons of it. I mean, the pros are it's awesome, the cons of it is it's stupid, but there's more to it than that. So if I get the app up, first I need to plug that shitter into the OBD 2 port. So I'll plug that in, which is down there somewhere. And now we've got that plugged in, we open the app. So how do I use this shitter? There we go. And it's called RevHeadz. So already you know it's going to be good. So we'll open that app up, and then we need to connect to the OBD. So accept that. Connect Bluetooth. Oh shit, actually, hold on, this is interesting, this. Let's go back. Right. So because I'm driving the BMW and it's a Doozil, the rev limiter I've set to 5,000. Because that's important, because if you set that differently, it needs to proportionalise. Say you set it so you can do all sorts on this, like a Lamborghini or something which redlines at whatever, 9,000 RPM. If you don't do that, and if it just matched the revs to that, then when you're redlining, the sound is only going to be like half revs. But it also does more than that. So let's connect and go from there. I'll wait for that to connect and then I'll come back. And now we have a connection. So if I go back onto here, and then what we do is we select different vehicles. So these are the options. Like we've got all these options, and I think if you purge it, you get more options. But I'm going to go with a V12 6 litre. It looks like a Zonda, which would be pretty sick. So it should make the car faster too, because a Zonda is faster than this car. So then when you click drive, it reads the RPM, and now we come on to something here. So if I rev it revs up. Now there is a little tiny delay on it, and it does say not to use Bluetooth to connect the phone to your stereo to make that delay worse. But I can't say you can do that anyway, because if you're using the Bluetooth to connect to my OBD adapter. So I'm going to plug this into the aux port on my stereo, and then it should come through the speakers of the car, which should be awesome. If I can find the aux port. There we go. Headphone jack, sorry. Case is in the way. Right, so now we are coming through the stereo, and you have to have it turned up quite loud to make it work, but yes, we are a Zonda. So the other interesting thing is when you drive it is, you know what, let's try a different sound, because that doesn't actually sound good. Let's try a different car. Let's try a V8, because I miss my V8. Right, so let's try that. Right, and then we lead on to another interesting thing. So now, you know, it's like a big cam V8. I'll shut up so you can listen, but it doesn't just register the RPM. So I'm driving nice and genitally with low throttle openings. But then, if I put my foot down, louder. So it must also read the throttle position as well as the RPM. So like now, small throttle openings, just revving it up a little bit. It does that, but if I put my foot to the floor, it sounds more like it's loaded, which is just well sick. I'm quite impressed with that. So let's drive with the shitter and see how it is. But first, let's change it to something else, because we've done the V8. Let's do a fucking chainsaw. Yes. Okay, that's awful, but I don't know if you can see what else we've got, but we've got 1800 V-twin motorcycle, so like a Harley Dangerous, 350Z, V8 350Z, AM V12 GT3, we have got, I better go actually. Let's do a Ferrari. So then we just transformed ourselves into a Ferrari, so let's change to something else. We'll go back to, we'll do a 1000cc V4, so like an Aprilia RS V4 or something. Well, that sounds absolutely horrendous. It also does this, so I don't know if you can see that, but menu interaction is disabled when you're moving, so you can't fuck about with it when you're moving, which is probably good. Let's try an RX-7, RX-8, whatever. Okay, so you get the idea. It puts sounds of different cars through your speakers, and like I said, there is a little bit of a delay, which is quite annoying when you're driving. So when you change gear or when you rev up or something, it's like, I don't know, it's just a split second, but it just makes it feel weird when you're driving. And also, the other thing is, what I've got to criticise it for, is the engine recording sounds are absolutely shocking. They're fucking rubbish. So the app itself, the way it works, is, you know, it's a gimmick and it's funny, but I mean, I've driven halfway to work and I've turned it off already. I'm fed up of it. It gets pretty annoying quite fast. The novelty wears off almost immediately, which is unfortunate. I will try it in the C1 though, because that's got a louder stereo than this. So I'll see how it sounds in that, and we'll see if it's any different. But first, thought about something. If I turn this down and see that my red line on my engine is like 2000 RPM, then it'll make it sound like I'm going really fast when I'm not going really fast. So I have to reconnect again, but let's do that and see what happens. So now we are connected again, and we're at 2000 RPM. I didn't realise this before. I'll have a look at that in a bit, but it does diagnostics as well. So let's check, let's choose, let's do that one. Yes. Okay, VTIN probably isn't the best one to make it look like it's going fast. What the fuck? Yes, doing 25 miles an hour. So let's try it in a proper car, which means unfortunately I've got to unplug the head-up display. Well, let's plug that shitter into there. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to drive this, because I've been lending it to my mate because his car's broken down, and he's rather inconsiderately adjusted every part of the seat position. So like, I don't even know what shape he is to fit in this seat. But I mean, I'm just over 6 foot tall, and the seat, he is taller than me actually, but the seat is, I can't even reach the pedals. Right, anyway, let's get it fired up on this shagger and see how good the Citroen can actually sound. And obviously this is a petroleum powered vehicle, which revs higher, so we set the revs to the correct amount. See if it connects. And this takes a minute or so, so I'll wait for that to do its thing. And we're in. This, pain in the arse to use the auxiliary port. You have to go through a fucking app called, I don't know, AVIN or something like that to use it, which took me a bit of finding out, but we got there. Oh, I've just pressed it. Let's try it again. Yes. So let's drive the shitter and see how good it is on the C1. And the answer is like that. It sounds like you're going really fast when you're not going fast at all. So that sort of, well, that's pretty much what this video is about. You know, that's pretty much it. But I have found, whereas if you go on mean, we're on starter pack, so I've gone through all them, but then you've got like all these different ones. If you want to pay some monies, it's only 99p, but you get loads of different shit, which I'm not bothered with. I mean, I don't know if the sound files are any better, because the sound files, in all honesty, like I said before, they're not the best. But what I'm also going to try and do is see if this diagnostics, that isn't the diagnostics I was expecting to see. Fuck knows what that is, so we'll scrap that idea. So anyway, that is pretty much it for this one. If you want your car to sound like a car that it's not, the other thing is with this, like, because the exhaust that's on it, I had to turn it up quite loud. And I don't know how it sounds from outside, because I've never really listened to this stereo from the outside of this car, but I was getting some funny looks. So anyway, like I said, that's pretty much it for this one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the usual shit. And see you next time.